Good luck to you.
So much to it.
Here's Elizabeth. You can say hi to her.
Where's that?
Is that Marcy? Hi, Marcy. How are you? She didn't even say hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can
No
you hear
sound.
Well, yeah. Good luck. Bye.
Can you hear
I
me
just
now?
made a sandwich.
He just wanted to know how deep we went.
Who's that?
Brett.
Oh, okay. Get over here so your granddaughter can hear you.
Can you hear me, Grandma?
More of these.
Can you? You can't hear me. I'm going to hang up and come back. Hold on.
Oh.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Do we need to go out and come back in?
Maybe. Can you hear me now? Do you need to turn the volume up?
Where'd you end up getting, Mars?
Huh?
Where'd you end up getting you?
My leftovers for me and Ryan.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Everybody's still freaking nice. I'm so happy about that.
That's good.
And one of my supervisors when I was in SSR,
Mhm.
he's on my team.
Yeah.
So Tyler's like, anything you need, even if you think it's the stupidest question, you just ask me. I'm like, okay, because I'm sure I've got a lot of stupid ones.
Okay.
She says, is your volume turned up?
Okay. I'll say yes. There you are.
You can hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, well, good. I didn't do anything different. I've just been sitting here. I'm glad it's working now. Maybe your volume wasn't turned up.
Yeah, it was. It was up to 100%.
Then I have no idea.
Whatever happened. Whatever it is. So, how's your life?
Oh, kind of chaotic this morning, which is why I made you wait for so long. Thank you for being patient with me.
Oh, yeah. How's Johnny doing? He must be better now.
Yeah, he.
That's good.
Yep, he's pooped now and he's in his bed, hopefully.
I did the first one, but not the second one. I'm glad he is doing well.
Yeah, I had a friend. Oh, she's doing great. She's talking in sentences now, and she's so adorable.
That's fun.
And she's been really happy lately too, which has been really great.
That's really because her mother can understand her now.
Yeah,
And
probably.
it's not so frustrating. You had a friend over?
Yeah, she's going through a lot of crazy problems, so I had a hard time kicking her out on time.
Oh, oh well.
The short of it is her husband moved his parents into her house, even though she spent a year telling him no, no, no. He just did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then it was, as anticipated, terrible. And there was a lot of fighting and...
Are the parents sick?
Nope. Just unwilling to work anymore.
And
But
and maybe controlling.
And controlling, yeah. So he moved them all the way from Utah all the way out here to Rhode Island. And he paid for it. So he spent like $10,000 moving all of their stuff here. And there wasn't any space in their house. And they were just going to stay in their basement, but their basement's completely unfinished. And it doesn't even have heat down there or anything. And and his mom's like really mean. So she was just being mean the whole time. And it was just a big problem. And my friend was saying like she's like wants to like pack up and take the kids and like leave and like move out of state.
Where does her parents live?
Well, her family is messed up too, but her mom lives in Florida and her dad lives in Utah, and they're still married, but they just live.
Yeah.
but they're not really good people to be around either. So she would want to go to her sister's house if she went somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, makes me grateful for my husband because
That's right. Because he hasn't moved his parents in on you yet.
no, and he would respect my boundaries for sure.
Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are you doing this for? Okay, what?
Well, Grandma,
What?
is that a question
None of my
because you
business.
don't want to do it anymore?
No, we just got wondering, why are we doing this? I mean, we like talking to you.
Oh,
That's
thank
okay.
you. I hope that's true. Well, Grandma, I just was thinking about it, and I don't know very much about you guys, and I want to get to know you better, and I think it would be cool to, eventually put together all of the stories and stuff you're telling me so that we can have it after you guys eventually pass on, like 30 or 50 years from now.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. We were just curious. Nala, you gotta move.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I told you before, I do record these
Marcy.
videos.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Call your dog.
I just don't, I want it to already be remembered when you're not
Thank
here to
you.
tell us anymore. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
is that
All
okay?
Yes, it is.
I have no expectations that you'll be leaving us anytime soon, but
That's okay.
my other grandparents are older than you and very preoccupied with death.
Well, we're not.
So I've been talking to them, and I figured I didn't want to just talk to them. I wanted to talk to you guys too.
Well, we're glad.
Next week.
Next week, what? You'll become preoccupied with death?
Right.
Nah, we're gonna wait a while.
Well, good thing I was preemptive then.
Yep. Okay. Question.
Okay. You want me to give you a question now?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Great. Let's see. What questions do I have?
You don't know.
The next one on my list is, what are some of the hardest lessons you've had to learn? What was so hard about it? How long did you take to learn it? And how did you end up learning it?
Money don't grow on trees.
And let me think.
And it takes all your life to learn it.
And it's not that. I mean, it wasn't a hard lesson.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, sometimes, yes. Yes. But money is not all really what makes you happy. It helps.
It cannot be all absorbing.
Yeah. I don't think that was hard for us to learn, though. We were just broke.
Still are.
Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say? It shouldn't be, you need money, but it shouldn't be all encompassing.
Yeah.
There's more important things like the gospel, your family. Anything? What else, dear?
Well, we did our best to get out of debt, finally did, so we like it that way.
So we're happy.
You don't have any debt at all?
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah, but
we have cars and.
But not like before, you know.
We're not loaded with everything anymore.
Yeah.
What are you talking about house payment, or are you talking about just like credit card debt or something?
Both.
No credit card debt, no house debt.
Oh yeah, we have credit cards, some things.
Well, yeah, we do use
but we pay it off.
We don't use a credit card much. We use debit card.
When we do something on the credit card, we pay it off.
Yeah.
Then as soon as possible. We don't carry it from month to month because there's some things you got to buy with a credit card. But we don't buy it unless we got it budgeted, you know. Did that help? Did
So-
that answer your question?
Kind of. So that was a hard lesson for you to learn just because you're constantly thinking of new things that you can't afford to pay for, or what? Because Grandma, you said it wasn't hard. Grandpa said it was hard.
Yeah, I think it's harder than you, because it is constant. You have to think about it all the time.
Money.
Well, how to pay your bills, things that you want, you gotta save for if you want it. And
Just help take self-control.
then there's planning. If you can kind of figure how old your automobile is and when you're gonna need a new one. So you ought to be saving that money for it. And then Cheryl's mother gave us a good idea when we were young and still had the kids in the house. She said, meat's the biggest thing you'll ever pay for. And so,
As far as groceries. Groceries, okay.
And so when meat is groceries.
Yeah.
And so when you eat a steak, go and put the amount of money you paid for the steak in the bank. And do that with all the meat you eat. When you eat meat, go put that money in the bank. And then when you need meat again, you'll have money for it. And we tried to do that, and it really helps. And if you do that with everything, you can figure out your car. It's this old. We don't want to drive it more than 12,000 miles, or or 1.5 million miles.
Or 100,000, yeah.
Right now, a lot of cars, people don't drive more than about 100,000 miles, because that's where the trade-in drops. 50,000 and 100,000. So if you can kind of figure that out, put money in the bank for it, then you have money when you need a new one.
Have you replaced your cars at 100,000 miles?
The last 2 or 3 cars we replaced at 50,000 miles.
Just because we get a lot of, we get better trade-in.
Get a better trade-in.
And you don't have, well, we had some old cars, and when we started paying as much more for all the different repairs, we thought we might as well be putting the repair money into a car payment in a car that worked.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. It's just constant. You just have to do the best you can. And we probably haven't even answered your question.
I love it.
Hardest lessons we ever learned.
Yeah.
And
I think it was not to put money first kind of come in.
And then
Close
another
first.
thing that helps, in my opinion, 2 people sharing a bank account. I don't think that money should have, a big amount of money should never be spent without consulting. Both people talking about it and deciding if that's a good idea or not.
Take that out of my face.
And we've tried to do that with all big
Stick your knife.
decisions. No matter what, no matter what they are, we've tried to make that be all of our decisions, basically.
But what problems have we ever had we sure wished we'd never done?
What's that one? Like
I
what?
don't know. You tell me. I asked you the question. You don't get to ask me.
Some problems we wished we hadn't done.
Well, something we did that we wished we hadn't done.
You have a better memory than me.
Yeah, I'm trying to help your memory.
Okay, help me, give me a hint. Can you think? I can't think of anything that we've really regretted. Maybe there has been, and
Well, I'm trying to think. Once in a while you go and you buy something that you don't think you can live without, and it turns out to be $1,000 lesson.
Yeah.
we've had several of those, but I can't think of what they are. Evidently, we didn't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
We learned from it, whatever it was. Trying to think. Well, one thing that we didn't do, we wished we had done was, but it had nothing to, it was kind of with money. We wished we had built above when we build on.
Oh, yeah.
We wished we had built above the back porch because there's no room on the top. And now we wished we had gone ahead
Put a
and
room up there.
spent the money and put a room up there.
Could have been sold.
Yep, could have been a sewing room, see? But I think that's really the only thing we regret we haven't done that we wished we had done.
Did you consider it at the time?
Did we consider it at the time? I think money was a factor.
Yeah. No, we didn't think about it.
I don't think we even thought about it because we were
We were building
building
on
on and
didn't think about going up.
trying to pay for that. Yeah, so we didn't think about it. Should have planned better, but that's okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And we don't have that much extra debt, so. Anyway, that's, I think, one of the only regrets we have. So. Because I can't think of anything else.
Sheryl might have wished once she'd have, instead of getting her master's degree like she did, maybe get it right while she was still in school.
Instead of when the kids were little. That was a,
She had to go off to Lewiston and stay 3 months while I stayed at home, tried to work, and
10 kids.
7 kids.
But it was during the summer,
Yeah,
so
it was still annoying.
might have been annoying.
Grandpa wishes that you hadn't done that.
Yes.
Maybe not you. So did
No.
you? I thought that you got your bachelor's degree and your master's degree when you had
I
little
did.
kids.
I did.
But it was several years apart.
Yep. I got
She
my,
didn't stay in college and get the master's
you mean
in
the,
college.
you mean the bachelor's?
No, you got your bachelor's, you had to get it to teach.
True.
But the master's degree, she didn't get till later.
Yeah. Well, I waited till the kids were older for that
Mandy was in first grade.
when I got my bachelor's. And then it was several years
Yeah.
later when I got my master's.
So how did you do the bachelor's degree? Were you going in person for that?
Yeah. I just scheduled classes for when they were in school because I waited until they were, in school.
Mandy was in first grade when Sheryl started working.
And so I just went to school while they were in class. So that,
But if you want more education, we just checked with the college opportunities that were around us, and we found out that Rick's or BYU Idaho would take part of the credits. A couple of the credits you had to get from the State College satellites in Idaho Falls,
That was for my master's.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you want more education, you do that and look for the opportunities because they're out there and you can get them now, I'd imagine. You can get a lot of those online without having to go to a satellite to get enrolled.
Yeah, I think there's more opportunities now.
See, down in Idaho Falls, they have what they call University Place. And Moscow has, the University of Idaho at Moscow has classrooms there. And Pocatello has classrooms there.
And BYU
And
did.
BYU had classrooms there. So, and I think a lot of places have them if you just look. So they accommodate you whether you, so if you're even working or a mother or whatever, they'll figure it out so you've got the time to take it.
Yeah,
it
that's
worked
awesome.
out.
So, but for your master's degree, what does Grandpa mean you did it for 3 months? You were there for 3 months straight, or you were just
I
commuting every
had to
day?
Well, tell her how the whole thing
Yeah,
went.
okay. When I decided to go back to school,
She dang near
I-
waited too long.
had all my credits from my associate degree and everything. And when we checked, I had, 2 weeks?
Yeah, she dang near
Just,
waited
yeah,
too
just
long.
like 2 weeks. And all of my credits wouldn't be any good anymore. I'd have to retake everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so luckily,
She had 2 weeks
I
left
had
and got enrolled. So
two-
that
yeah.
saved her.
2 weeks and then I was able to start on my bachelor's. And my bachelor's, but BYU, and this is what made us so mad, wouldn't take all my credits from Rick's. So I went up to Lewis Clark. They took everything, but they required,
Except Book of Mormon.
yeah, but they required on campus, some classes on campus and time on campus. So one summer, I went up to Lewis Clark and took those classes and left Bruce and the kids home. Luckily, Annika was probably 11 or 12,
Yeah.
so she could carry your mom could carry the most of the weight when Grandpa had to go into school for some reason. So, and when I graduated from there, and then I was teaching and decided to get another lady. She was the one that wanted the master's really bad. Anyway, so we signed up for night classes down in Idaho Falls at the Science Center that had university place that had all these different colleges that offered classes. And we did attend, where did we go? We went somewhere else. Anyway, so I studied at night and went to work during the day. And anyway,
So
I don't know that.
you were able to do that because your kids are old enough to help with the
Yep.
younger kids.
And I'm glad I did because my focus was my kids. I mean, I didn't want to be gone while they were young. I just didn't. So,
But that's one thing to keep in mind, that your eligibility for the credits you're carrying beyond, like if you have a bachelor's plus some extra credits, there is a time when those extra credits expire and will not count toward another degree.
yeah,
A lot of people don't know that, and we didn't.
no,
And so we were just plain lucky
we were blessed.
on
Yeah.
hers.
That was a blessing. That,
I stayed in school and got my master's, right? And the colleges usually don't recommend that you get your master's from the same school you got your bachelor's from.
which is dumb. I don't know why.
Well, I do,
Why?
because they want you to have the experience of another college and different professors.
No. To me, that's a big deal. No big deal. Anyway, so
But I stayed up to Moscow and I had my master's degree in about a little over half a year.
Wow.
It didn't take long,
it was probably another, well, maybe, yeah,
probably a year, a little over a
little
year.
over a year, and it worked out
Yeah, it worked out
because
good.
you were going to school, you were in the mode to go to school.
Yeah.
and-
And I went all summer.
Yeah,
So I took, you can only take 1 or 2 or 3 credits in summer. You can't get a whole bunch, but they're sure easy.
a lot of professors are.
Unless I just lucked out, I don't know. But boy, those summer classes were a dream.
I think you lucked out because
I loved it.
some of Marcy's kids are not thinking summer classes. So anyway,
One professor I had, he came in the first day. I took a geology class. He came in the first day and made certain that we all bought his book to read during summer. And then he never mentioned the book again. And we only saw him twice the entire summer.
Wow.
One day he came and took us out to look at rocks in road cuts.
but that's
And
not usual.
the other day he came and gave us our credits.
But that's not usual. That was,
Never even saw him.
you lucked out.
Did he give you assignments?
Huh? We didn't do anything. Nobody did anything. Are you reading my book? Oh yeah, heck yes. We didn't even have a test on it.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
So that's not normal.
He came back after summer and gave us all A's.
Wow.
It was a wonderful program. I had to do more work than that for the extra credits to teach. See, I don't know your experience, but our experience is in teaching that you have to have 5 credits toward a degree or toward work. 5 credits every 6 years.
6 credits every 5 years.
Oh,
You have to.
so you'll wind up with, for teaching degrees, you could wind up with a master's degree and 35 credits by the time you retire. And I about had that. I've got a lot of credits over my master's.
Yeah, we all
Degree.
do. But, oh, well. So,
And in some places, in some school districts, they pay you more to keep your bachelor's degree and just keep up the credits than to get a master's degree and additional credits.
Yep. Sometimes it's not worth it.
Oh, it's worth it. Bragging rights are worth a lot.
Yes.
What other things do you like to brag about?
Having a master's degree. We almost never mention it anymore.
I'm not sure I really ever mentioned it.
It doesn't make the butter on your toast taste any better.
No, it does not.
I think it's
However,
awesome that you guys are so educated.
We both have our master's degrees, and I don't think anybody else in our families have.
No
one else in my family.
I was the first one to graduate from college in my family.
And I was too.
And my dad went for a while, and a couple of brothers went for a while, and they just all quit. But I didn't find any really lucrative jobs like they did, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What?
My little brother did get a degree in college. He and I both went on missions, and the other 4 did not.
Which little brother?
Which 4 brothers?
No, which little brother?
Frank, my youngest brother, went to college. He taught ag too.
You said he went on a mission too?
He went on a mission. He went to Great Britain.
So he and you are the only 2 to go on missions and the only 2 to go to college?
Right.
And they were the only 2 that was active in the church at the time.
Yep. Except our sisters. Well, Marcia.
So anyway, we don't know if we answered that question.
And my sister.
For our memory, that's as good as you get.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good. Well, are there any, like, other than money, what other things have been challenging? Parenting, making friends, living the gospel, anything like that?
Well, I kind of hate to say it, but generally people parent somewhat like their parents, or because of their parents. They absolutely would not ever do that.
What?
Well, some kids, their life at home was so strict or so something
Yeah.
that they swear they would never parent like their parents. And some of those are the people now who have, what do you call it, kids?
Functioning.
No, what's it? No, there's a term.
Delinquent? Naughty?
Open range,
No, free range
free
kids.
range kids.
Oh, yes.
They run up and down the aisles in church, and the parents just sit there and grin, and they don't
discipline because they were disciplined and they didn't like it.
discipline, so they don't discipline their kids.
Yeah.
And people have to have discipline.
Kids have to have boundaries and rules.
Everybody has to have discipline.
Yep.
If they don't, then we get what we get. Jails full of prisoners.
Because they don't. They can't function in society with other people.
Anyway,
How is that a hard lesson to learn?
I think it
Not
is.
for us, but
No. Our parents taught us well.
yes, they did.
So that's a lesson that other people have to learn.
It's a lesson I'm glad we learned because
Well, Nephi said, I was born of goodly parents. And goodly parents don't necessarily have to be members of the church. As long as they're honest and law abiding and do their duties, they're probably goodly parents. They don't have to necessarily be church people to be goodly parents.
and I know some church people that
whose
kids have no boundaries. And because they want to self-esteem,
Yep.
and that's not good. When they say come to dinner, then you come to dinner.
Another thing we don't believe in is being too good of friends with our own kids while they're
Yeah.
home in the family.
While they're young.
I think
Well, I
you
was
can
going to
be-
say poor Marcy.
While they're young.
You can be good friends with them when they're adults. But if you're too good of friends with them when they're young, I think you'll have a much larger opportunity to lose them.
You have to love them, and they need to know you love them, but you don't have to be their buddy.
You don't have to wear their clothes either.
Yeah.
What do you mean about the clothes?
There's a distinct difference between a child
Haven't you
and
seen that?
a parent.
Haven't
No.
you seen that?
Oh, you
You
haven't?
watch. Sometimes a 15-year-old girl will be in a store with her mother buying clothes, and she's got on the same sort of clothes the daughter has. They're looking on the same clothing things for their clothes.
And it's okay to look nice, but anyway.
Honey, you can look nice and not look like a
Uh,
15-year-old.
Exactly.
But anyway. Oh, a doggy showed up.
What if your 15-year-old is dressed like you?
Well, but you know what we're trying to say.
I know what you're
Probably
saying.
are.
You know what we're trying to say.
Baggy bib overalls, you mean?
You shouldn't
Yeah.
try so hard to be cool that
should-
you
yeah,
forgo being a parent.
that's it. You gotta teach your children.
Today's the day.
You need to just teach them boundaries. I mean, you just need to teach them to be a good human being.
Well, I read your mom's journal that you sent out to everyone when she died.
Yeah.
Woo! That journal was sad, first of all. But she talked about one lesson that she learned that was really transformative was to let God's will prevail.
Yeah.
And she talked, that was very sad. So that's kind of what I was thinking of when I asked you the question, I guess. If you had to learn anything the hard way like your mom did in that very sad story.
Oh, no, that's your mom's.
Oh,
Grandpa brought it down.
I'm
Sorry, that's okay.
And then what color of quilts did you need?
I just need,
Johnny,
I don't
I'm
know, I
doing
need
this
to look.
meeting.
There's
She
a
needs to
couple-
look
couple of top,
But you can
couple on the top.
You go look. Cheryl.
Yeah, and I can tell you.
play
Most- if you're quiet and don't bring up Bonnie, top but I 2 or can't help you 3. with
anything because I'm doing this.
I mean, it's more of a, more of a garbage can. Yeah. I think we just had to learn, especially when Megan, when we were saying about don't let money rule your lives. And Megan was little and she was so sick, and when Mandy was little and she was so sick. And we had doctor bill after,
We had some pretty big hospital and doctor bills.
Yep. And I went to a class in Relief Society, and they were kind of talking about it, and they said, just budget this much each month, because the doctors are not going to repossess your child. And so
Dang it.
as long as, you say, okay, I can afford to pay this much each month, and then it wasn't overwhelming. We just paid each month, and as you notice, they're all still with us, so the doctors did not take them back. So, because you feel like you gotta, get them paid and all this stuff. Well, you do, but don't let them scare you. Is what I mean. And I think that was a good lesson we had to learn, because we had so much going on. And yeah, I think that's about the hardest lesson we ever had to learn. And like you said, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I think that, and once you make the decision, this is God's will, it's a lot easier in life.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And I think to chill, don't you think? That wasn't a hard lesson, but
What?
to just kind of chill out. Things happen, and it's just the way it is. They happen. And no sense losing your cool over it. And just have to. Things work out a lot easier when you're calm.
True. Yeah, it's tempting sometimes to think about a million what ifs and could have beens and should have beens and would haves and
Yeah, but you can't. It's not worth it.
yeah.
It all it does is create dissatisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think another thing is that sometimes and can be difficult decisions is taking on a new job and moving away from the kids' friends and a new school and new ward, new everything. I think that can be difficult, but it's only as difficult as you let it be.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's why I say you have to go with the flow. As long as it's the Lord's will.
Well, my first job, and I had the contract, was with a school over in Boise Valley. And then before we went and was planning to move and look for a house, and they traded me with another school.
Yeah.
The school that I was to go to, they wanted a coach. And down to Minico, where I wound up, didn't necessarily, so they traded.
Wow.
Minico was a kid that was a coach. So they traded. I hope Minico got the best deal.
They did. Of course they did.
They were sure upset when I left.
You just can't, you just have to learn to chill, go with the flow.
How many times did you guys move?
9.
Was it 9?
I think 9 times after we got married.
Let's see,
What's up to?
we moved one into the other house, and then we moved to Burley, then we moved to Rupert, then we moved to the Heat house.
The
No,
huge
then we
house?
No, then we moved to LaBelle, and then we moved over to the Heath house, and then we moved here. So that's 7 times. No, more?
I counted other house, Burley, Rupert, LaBelle, Heath here. That's 6, what I counted.
Oh,
Is that
Well,
everything you said?
no, we moved up to Moscow. Well, we found a house, an apartment.
In Moscow, we moved.
We lived, and then we moved to one other place.
Mm.
So 2 houses
So
in
2
Moscow.
houses in Moscow. Then Burley, that's 3. Then Rupert. Then LaBelle. Then over in the Shelton area. And then here. How many is that? 7, 8, 9?
I think it's 7. I think it's
Okay.
7.
I think it's 7. Yeah.
How
Well,
many?
that's-
How many of those were houses that you owned versus renting?
Only 2.
Yeah, 2.
Just your house now and the one in the Shelton area?
No, the one in Rupert.
Mm.
We were there 5 years.
Yeah. So we rented the others.
So,
Rupert was kind of a neat little house. We lived next door to some really good friends, and their little kids were about the same age as ours. And they lived next door. And our houses were only about 10 feet apart. And so we found out one night that
Floor
their
plans were
bedroom was
switched,
next to our bedroom.
Hmm.
And so after that, we would lay in bed and talk
back and forth through the
through
window,
the
open
window.
window.
And sometimes we found out we could dial the other house and they could answer and leave their phone down and we'd leave our phone down. And we could hear if our kids were bawling and howling to take care of them. And then we could go over and visit or play games.
Yeah, we'd put them to bed, make sure they were asleep, and we'd do that back and forth.
Yep.
But that's how close we lived down there.
Well, it was right in town.
Yeah, it was in town, and we did have fun. We'd hear them talking, or they'd hear us talking, so they kind of hollered at us, and we'd just chat back and forth.
So you have to be careful what you said in your bedroom at night to your husband.
If your windows were open, yes.
What were their names?
Their name was Garner.
Garner, what was their?
Doyle
And Karen Gardner. That's right.
Doyle and Karen Garner.
Yeah.
And in the other ward we lived in here before they changed our wards, his cousin lived in our ward
Hmm.
here in Ryrie.
That's crazy.
They live in a big place up by the rest stop on Highway 26.
Yeah, she doesn't know the highways.
Why did you get down anyway? That's the cousin that lives on Highway 26, or that's your old friends?
That's
His cousin,
That's his cousin. Our old friend.
Doyle Garner's cousin.
Yeah.
He's a doctor.
I don't either. It's a present for my opening. He's a doctor, you said?
He is.
Yeah.
Wow. If you had chosen different careers and not been teachers, what would you have chosen?
I went to the University of Idaho to be a veterinarian. And I did 1 year of pre-vet.
I think I would have I went to school for some interior design classes, but I think I would rather have been not that, but I enjoyed my architecture classes. So I would have either pursued that or I think radiology.
How come radiology?
I just think it's interesting on what they can see on that thing. I think it would be interesting.
I think if I'd have thought of it a little sooner when I went in the Navy, I'd have been in law enforcement. I kind of wished where I had a choice in the Navy, I kind of wished that I had tried to get into NCIS, Navy Secret Service.
Yeah. What appeals to you about that, Grandpa?
What?
What about that do you find interesting?
Oh, I just kind of liked it all the time. I used to think I wanted to be in the FBI.
You wanted to fight crime.
Yeah. Teaching high school is a little bit like being in the FBI.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think I would have liked radiology. I can't stand the sight of blood. So I wouldn't have been good in the medical field, but I like watching all the things on the radiology.
Is that what Kaya's trying to do?
No, Kaya just graduated to be a loan officer
A
Oh, that's
Or-
quite different.
for home loans. What?
lone lawyer.
A loan lawyer? No, she's she can
does
do
have to
home
know.
loans.
She
That's
has
cool.
to know all the law that pertains to loans.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Good for her.
But she may not ever do that because, well, she might, because her mother-in-law owns the business.
where she's working.
Yeah, she was telling me about that.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think there's a bigger company. She owns the one in Idaho Falls. That's what I think.
No.
And I think there's a bigger company. Yeah, because what's the name of it?
Man mortgage.
Yeah, man owns it.
Yeah.
But she runs the one in
Yeah.
Idaho Falls.
So, did you guys ever regret your career choice, or did you like teaching?
No.
Or
No, I like teaching.
I would have liked sometime, I think, to have gone and taught in a college, and I tried a couple of times, just didn't work out. Had a couple of offers, they just didn't work out.
why didn't it work out?
Huh?
Why didn't it?
Well, one would have been to run Rick's College or BYU Idaho's dairy, and they sold it before I had an opportunity, but we wouldn't have taken that job anyway. It was not a career move.
And the only regret I have about school is I wished I had stayed down teaching I love teaching the third graders.
What, Johnny? If you want a snack, go grab one and bring it to me. I'll open it for you. Sorry, Grandma.
No, that's okay. Instead of moving up and teaching junior high.
How come?
I just enjoyed it, but the older the kids get, the moodier they are and the sassier they are.
And right about the time she got them, the little bugger's hormones started to work.
Yeah, they were. But the third graders were fun. I enjoyed them. So
Did you have a preference for the content too, or just for the kids' attitudes?
oh, I loved the content in the upper grades, but it was mainly their attitudes. But it's okay. We enjoyed
Yeah.
doing what we did.
How long did you teach elementary versus middle school?
Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And then they asked me to go up to the middle school. And it was okay. I enjoyed it. It was just, the littler ones, you could tell them what to do a little easier.
Yeah. And there are fewer kids to keep track of too.
And they wanted to be there, where the others some days did not want to be there. And they let you know it.
What was it like teaching in the schools while your kids were in the schools?
It was good. I didn't have a problem
What's that?
teaching while the kids were in the schools.
Oh, no. Clifton probably didn't like it, but otherwise, wasn't bad.
Well, Annika didn't like it because
No,
she couldn't get in trouble because you were there.
they were sassy. And so I'd go straighten them out.
Yeah.
Was Annika a troublemaker?
No,
Not really.
she really wasn't.
She once in a while had a little trouble with her teachers because she knew more than they did.
But that's, you know, that's the way it is.
Was that true? Did she really know more than they did?
Heck no.
She was pretty sure she did.
That's kind of funny.
I know.
My mom says it was challenging having you in our schools because you knew all of the boys that went there and made her lists of who she was or was not allowed to go on dates with.
One time he told, that was Kirsten's
Kirsten's
Seth.
date.
Yeah, that's okay. They all survived.
What happened with Kirsten?
Oh, tell her.
Kirsten's first date was with a boy named Seth, and I had him in class. And how old would he have been? A sophomore?
Probably a sophomore. Well, junior.
Because it was their 16th birthday they
Would
were
be juniors.
going out on. And he said, I'm going to take Kirsten out. And I said, well, that's okay. And I was teaching them a little bit about manners. And we got to the part about dating, and I said, when you go to pick up the girl, you go up to the door, you knock on the door, you introduce yourself to the parents if you don't already know them, and get a little acquainted with them before you and their daughter go out. And so one day in class he said, I'm taking Kirsten out, and what if I drive up in the driveway and just honk to have her come out? And I said, Seth, the first shot will be a warning shot over your hood.
Did he take her out?
Yeah, he did.
Did he honk?
No,
he came to the
right
door.
to the door.
Was he a good boy?
Yes, he is.
He's a good boy. He married a black girl.
Oh, cool.
They live in Brooklyn. No, somewhere in New York City.
Yeah, not too far away from Times Square. Well, yeah, it took him half hour.
Yeah.
Took him half hour on the train to get there. And they used to live up on the highway north of Ryrie. South of Ryrie.
That's crazy.
We visited him
I bet
once.
that's our guys.
In New York? Who's coming over?
Our furniture just went past.
Oh, will you need to leave when it arrives?
Yeah, we will.
What furniture are you getting?
My stove died, so we're getting a new stove.
That's very exciting.
It is. Yeah.
You're getting a new refrigerator too?
Yep,
Yep,
we are.
there they are back.
Yep, there they are.
Are they coming
right.
in?
Yep.
Is there only
Okay.
one guy?
Thanks for
No, there's
talking.
two.
I'm so happy
Hey.
about your furniture.
Well, I've had gone without an oven for quite a while, and it's time to have a new stove.
Y'all have to send me pictures of
Can I
it.
say that to me?
Okay. But
I'm so
really,
happy.
it's been good. It has.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Can we talk
Okay.
next Monday? And I'll actually
Yes.
be on time.
Well, we'll see how it is.
I won't
I think-
invite friends over next week.
Yeah, life is good. Oh, I've got to go. I haven't even cleaned out the fridge. Okay, we'll see you.
Love
Okay.
you, Grandma.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Mom, when